Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the Deadwood series. This is episode 7 of season 1 and it is called Bullock Returns to the Camp. Last episode, shit has started to properly go down with this plague. We've got a couple new infected people. The doc has set up a temporary tent to start to deal with them. Calamity Jane is helping him because she's already been exposed. Meanwhile, Al and Cy and the newspaper guy are making sure that they spin the propaganda to the rest of the town to keep things moving as normal. Really bad choice in my opinion. I think everybody should be working in unison just now, knowing the true facts of the situation so everybody can take the proper precautions and stop this from potentially spreading. Yes, Al and Cy will lose a bit of money for a few weeks in the process, but they will keep their customer base at a high level when things return to normal by doing so. The way they're going right now, unless this cure arrives pronto, they're going to kill off 20% of their customer base. How's that going to help your bottom dollar? And the other storyline we were following was Seth rode out of town to try and catch up with Jack McCall. He ran into a Native American, they got into a fight, he had to kill him, and then Wild Bill's friend found Seth unconscious on the road back and they gave that guy a proper burial, if you will. Also, Al is trying his hardest with E.B. Farnham to get the widow re-hooked on dope, and so far she is avoiding doing it, and also Trixie is actively helping her keep clean, which is awesome to see, and I hope they continue to work as a team against Al's wishes. Like I said last episode, it seems incredibly petty he would go to all these lengths just to be able to buy the gold claim back from the widow so he gets a little bit extra money. He seems to make the most money out of everybody in town, so why that little bit extra is such a big deal to him, I have no fucking idea. But nonetheless, he is trying his damnedest, and so far they are managing to stop him from doing so. But yeah, without further ado, I've been looking forward to this all week, so let's get into it. This is episode 7 of season 1, Bullock Returns to the Camp. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it. I was talking to my friend the other week about I've started to react to this show, and they'd seen this show before and they were like, oh nice, Deadwood, I love Al Swearingen. I was like, you fucking love Al Swearingen. He better do some redeemable shit later on to get that title, otherwise my friend is confirmed a psychopath. Don't worry, he didn't give me any spoilers, but even that in and of itself is a little bit of a spoiler because so far Al's been nothing but a prick in my eyes, so he must do something that makes him somewhat likeable later on. Either that or my friend is just an evil person. Did he have 4 horses with him when he found Seth? Or is that the Native American's horses he's brought along as well? If it's the Native American's horse, that horse has seen a lot of shit because that dude was a killer.
That's what McCall was riding.
Alright.
Are they not even back at Deadwood?
If he'd sell the horse is what he really wants to know.
Well, I don't know if he'd sell. But the fucking jerk's in that bunkhouse.
Hey, we've got a location. Fuck Jack McCall. Oh, please tell me Jack dies. Opening scene. Bullet through the fucking face, please. Let's go.
Jack McCall.
Oh, it's him.
Probably spoke of killing Wild Bill Hickok. Well, we're Bill Hickok's friends.
Yeah, everyone books it. Smart decision, everyone else in the bunkhouse. Oh! He's not killing him. What the fuck's his plan then? There is nothing good that can come of keeping this little shit alive. I know that.
Guess you wanna soften him up some before you make your offer?
Yeah, you can have the horse for free.
Let's take the cocksucker to Yankton.
Why are they going to Yankton instead of Deadwood? Would that be a different legal system maybe, or? I've no idea.
You definite he's in these hills?
Wrote from Bismarck.
Is that the widow's husband maybe?
Of work for me?
No. She can get work right here.
No, sir.
Fuck you, Al, trying to turn her straight into a prostitute.
If I don't fire him first, you can pick him up at 10.
Thank you, sir. I'll wait for you, Miles.
I don't like these two kids being in such a dangerous place. And was that the guy who was thrown into the ravines, kids? Or a completely different man? Or was it maybe the one who had the first case of smallpox? I'm unsure. Didn't get a close enough look at that picture.
It's all right, son. It's all right.
It is not alright, son. You are fucked. Patient Zero over here. He needs to be thrown in the ravine. It's fine tending to the sick. When the cure is on its way. These people right now, they're already dead. The cure ain't getting here for them.
Wet cloth to his lips seems to give him some relief.
All right.
That's one of the few men that Calamity Jane seems to be not threatened by and nice to.
You might want to steer clear of his reflection for a while, but you're symptom-free.
Oh shit, he's actually got better. Is that without a cure?
Before you exhibit your Johnson, I'm going to see to this fella. So long. Good luck to you.
You can get better from it without a cure then. Well, that's good to know. Oh, he's keeping a watchful eye over Trixie right now.
You're feeling better.
She's got over the cramps then, that's good to see. Trixie and the Widow are quite an odd team, but I'm really liking them. At first I thought Trixie was just in Al's back pocket, plus a bit of a murderer by the looks of things, but she seems like a really cool person now. She probably killed that guy for just reasons, and not greed, which is what I first assumed.
You verify that she's loaded personally or both full of shit.
So Al knows she's bullshitting again now. This will be bad news for Trixie.
Was I a sleepy bee when you and me declared undying loyalty and full faith?
A sleepy bee. Now there's a idiom I have not heard before.
You want to feel a damp palm, Al. Select either of these hands.
Nobody wants to touch your fucking damp ass palms. Keep them in your pocket. Get a fucking tissue for heaven's sake. It's a smallpox outbreak, and about 90% of that shit could be in your palm sweat right now.
And you're out here looking for your dad?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
I'm not sure if that was his name. All I remember them referring to him as was the dude.
Well, what are you gonna do while your brother works?
Don't fucking do this shit to her.
How quick do you learn?
Oh, fuck off, Sai.
Maestro.
No! These people are fucking horrible.
His father will take him into it,
Papa.
as he will all who confess his son's savior.
That's a shame. She's handling it well. I suppose, I don't know if there's a age to handle it the best, you know, a death of your entire family. I don't think there's a science behind that shit, but she's being a brave soldier about it.
Prompt you to an immediate answer?
No, Mr. Fun.
At the funeral, EB, you have no shame.
I'd as soon not see Bill now. I'll see him some other time.
You know, I questioned this guy's loyalty, but he clearly really loved Bill. I take it back. Also, the preacher shouldn't still be doing shit like this if he's tending to smallpox sufferers. He is in risk of spreading it to way more people.
Stand with us here a second.
When in Rome, fold your arms, apparently.
Sometimes imagine running a small joint in Manchester, England. And to let them know they're amongst their own, maybe I'll operate from the corner, hanging upside down like a fucking bat.
Now there's a sight I'd like to see.
You want to ask your sister if she'd like to reconsider?
This town is just intent on turning this poor girl into a hooker, aren't they? If it's not Al, it's Sai. I liked Sai more than Al before that previous scene. Now I think he's just as big a piece of shit as Al.
Tell her where I want to see her.
Trixie might be in trouble now.
Mr. Swearingen engaged intermediaries to indulge me with opium. That would entail acknowledging that I've had a weakness.
She's definitely flirting with him a little bit. Her whole mannerisms and shit are changing in his presence. This is definitely the Seth Widow love interest going on here.
Are you at risk for the smallpox?
I was inoculated in New York City.
Wow, she's like the only person who is safe. Oh, I had a quick look down, checking out the tits, were you, Seth?
I've got money.
Our special get acquainted with those we'd like to get acquainted with sale.
Hardware store is looking good.
Taking care of her for Mrs. Garrett.
Much as she favors you, she could be yours.
Damn, you know, I had such the wrong impression of Trixie, now I think she's amazing. She seems to really find peace in looking after that kid as well.
I'm sorry you lost yours.
All right. Thank you.
He seems to be repressing his sadness just now, like he's still in a state of shock or just not wanting to even deal with the truth.
I know she works at the gym.
And even so, admit her to your trade at public hours.
E.B. Farnham, do not try and threaten Seth's friend. You will soon find that they will not deal with your bullshit.
I ain't a virgin. If you want to know that. I had a boyfriend in Buffalo.
Do not turn this nice girl looking for her father into a prostitute. Please, Deadwood.
Here.
And don't use that tissue, it's probably got smallpox on it.
Sorry.
I never thought we'd see this. I thought this guy was an absolute goner.
I'm here for my belongings.
They're gone, Andy.
He just threw away his shit. He might have had something really important because he wanted a special lockbox thing, didn't he?
Think how you'd have done different when somebody showed up in the shape you was in and my responsibilities to meet.
Throw him in the woods to fucking die?
Yeah, he did also do that. But again, I genuinely do not blame Cy for that choice at that time. He looked like he was on death's door and he was at risk of spreading it to everyone. I don't like Cy, but not for that reason.
That's an interesting piece of strange.
Is there a single tavern owner in this town who isn't an absolutely unapologetic piece of shit, perchance?
I'm in fucking wonderment. I'm waiting to be kept happy by the next fucking fairy tale.
Trixie better be careful. Al is 100% capable of killing her at any moment.
Now why would I want you to go back there? Hmm?
Calm down, Donald Trump.
That little one needs someone to care for her. And maybe get her the fuck out of here.
She's being so reasonable. Surely he will listen to reason. She's not lying to him.
Don't kid yourself, Trixie. Don't get a mistaken idea.
Well, at least he didn't kill her. I don't know what he makes of this, though. Obviously, Al will not be happy unless he gets that claim sold back to him, so his plan doesn't end with that conversation.
That's where Bill got killed, huh?
Can tell he's really hurting inside. This actor's doing such a great job of conveying, like, repressed pain.
Walked up on him and shot him in the head.
Bill never know when he come here.
While Bill's obviously got a reputation for being the best gunslinger for a reason, if he didn't have his back to the saloon doors, no way that guy would have killed him. And fuck those guys for not letting him get a seat with his back to the saloon, because that was always the way Wild Bill rolled. He liked his back to a wall, and that was the one time where, like, the only free chair was facing the saloon doors.
After it passed through Wild Bill's brain, struck me in my right wrist.
So the bullet went straight through Bill into this guy.
Thanks.
No matter what happened or what the scenario was, he wouldn't have got any good news there, but I just feel his pain right now. He's going through some shit in his head. I do want to see him reunite with Jane though. That'll cheer one another up, because they're the other two that have one another's backs and we're both looking out for Bill.
I prefer you happy, honey. But if you can't be, you need to pretend at it better than you're doing.
I can't believe it. She's been in town a day and she's already in full hooker gear. Her brother is going to be heartbroken as well. He's trying to make an honest living for them both, just sweeping and shit at Al's place. He's going to finish his shift and find out she's already had like 20 dicks in her.
Are you drunk?
No.
He's not drunk, but he's got some serious health issues. Jesus Christ. I want to know what exactly condition this is. I feel so bad for the preacher. He's the only one that always looks on the bright side of things. Things don't always look on the bright side of him.
Wouldn't surprise me if you had a lesion in your goddamn head.
So the doc actually thinks he might have some sort of brain damage which is causing the seizures. Is that a thing? Pardon my ignorance, I'm just so uneducated on this particular ailment.
Could not the lesion be the instrument of God's instructive intention, Doctor?
No. 100% the lesion is not an instrument of God's instructed intention. You have brain damage. I mean, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the guy's dedication to his belief system and shit. And out of anybody in Deadwood, he will be the happiest when he dies, because he is 100% a believer he is going to walk side by side with God for eternity. Not a bad thing to be thinking while you are passing away. That being said, he's one of the nicest people in the town, and I don't want to see him die.
All right, Flora. Well, here's $1 anyway. You're swell.
No, Flora. Get your brother and say, look, this town is full of scumbags. I want to leave.
Hey! Do you drinking at the bar or get the fuck out of here?
That extra did a great job of seeming absolutely pissed there. Pissed is British for drunk.
The Indian had to kill me for coming on the burial place, and
Maybe it'd been me too that killed his friend.
In the Native Americans' eyes, it's a completely justified thing. His friend had just been decapitated, so you have to forgive them for that.
That Indian saved Jack McCall's life, I'll tell you that fucking much.
Not for long.
Hopefully not. Hopefully this court that they've given him over to in Yankton just give him the death penalty anyway. Jane should be there to see it.
They're nice here. And Mr. Swearingen, he's funny as all get out.
Oh, you've got the wrong impression of Al, my friend. I know he's employing you, and he seems okay, but he is fucking not.
We have a private talk.
Sure we can. Should I be armed?
Where do you want to talk?
He didn't seem threatened there. It seemed like a sarcasm when he said should he be armed. He knows that Seth is an honourable dude that won't just kill him like a snake.
If any way his work was mistaken, I'd be coming after you.
You would?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Al.
E.B. Farnham offered on a claim.
Farnham's your water boy.
The booze is going away. This is not a drinking occasion.
What if I come for you? You ready for that?
I guess I better be.
This shit just got serious.
You like fucking little girls? Well, take a look at that little girl, because she's the last thing you're ever gonna see.
They're making such a fuss about him staring at that girl, but they were fine with trying to turn her into a hooker. What the fuck are they talking about?
You heard what I said about the widow.
Oh, yes, Your Holiness. You heard me too.
God damn, the drama in this show is just next level. They set up so many tense situations and future storylines and shit. I'm loving the writing so far.
Drinks all night for them that helps with the disposal.
Straight away a bunch of alcoholics were like, well, give me that body.
I warned him not to look at her. I warned him.
And Dan is a cold-blooded killer. And if he's got that sort of feeling towards that shit, wait till he hears what Cy is doing over at his saloon.
Who's there, goddammit?
What the hell does it look like?
Hey, I was looking forward to seeing Jane and Charlie reunite.
Jesus Christ, come upon a person unawares in a fucking graveyard.
True. It's not the type of place you want to be sneaking up on someone. Next time, Charlie, try going ooh while you do it. See how that works out for you.
Why did he let that son of a bitch get to him?
I don't know, Charlie.
These are two of the best actors in this show. Oh, I miss Bill. I miss Bill as much as these guys do. He was a good dude, and Deadwood was all the better for having him around in it.
I got that mail route in Cheyenne that we talked about.
I have dead loved ones. I've never been to their grave and talked to them. I don't see the point in it, but I completely understand people that choose to.
Yeah, fuck.
I knew Charlie was really hurting inside.
You want to go back to the camp?
Please protect these two characters. Please protect these two characters. I want to see these guys in season 3 and beyond.
I was careful to see he wasn't watching in the window.
It don't matter.
Oh, Al is always watching. You should always assume in this town Al is watching you, especially if he's got business with you.
I have no people anywhere.
You could go to New York. I could have my relatives there see you established.
I'd love to see Trixie get out of this place with a kid.
You want to fuck this man? Fuck him.
She definitely wants to fuck Seth.
You rich cunt. And I'm going back to it.
Wow. Trixie, I was just starting to like you. Don't do this. Don't like how this storyline's panning out. Okay, and that was episode 7 of season 1 of Deadwood. Bullock returns to the camp, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, Bullock returns to the camp. What did I think of that? A lot of small things to digest in this episode. It was a great episode, but a lot of storylines started to go ways I didn't want to see. Specifically the one with the widow and Trixie, and Al managing to convince Trixie to go back under his watch and basically telling the widow to go fuck herself. I was loving that little team. I was really starting to like Trixie, and that's just fucking unfortunate. That's how I described this episode. There's a lot of things in it which are just fucking unfortunate. That brother and sister coming into town looking for their dad, who is of course dead if it is the guy who Dan threw off the ravine. Straight away Sai put her to work as a prostitute. I don't know if she's actually had any Johns yet, but regardless, she's being trained for the position, and it's just so horrific to see. Her brother is trying to make them both enough money to live by working an honest day's work at Al's place, and I just don't want to see this poor girl who's already lost a father being forced into prostitution. On top of that, I don't know if Dan was just making a song and dance about it and he doesn't really feel that way, but if he killed that guy at the gym for even looking at her, what the fuck is Dan gonna think when he finds out what Sai's doing? And why wasn't he so opposed to it when Al suggested she become a prostitute at his place at the start of the episode? I'm confused about that, but it's good to see Dan have a strong stance on something. Hopefully it wasn't for show and that's genuinely how he feels, and when he finds out that's what they're doing over at the other saloon, he is equally as offended as he was at that guy just staring at her. It was good to see Seth and Charlie apprehend Jack, but I don't know how this is going to work with him being sent to Yankton. He's getting a second trial. Hopefully they just find him guilty and he gets some sort of death penalty and he doesn't yet again walk, but that guy is one of the slitheriest snakes in this entire show. And it wouldn't surprise me if he somehow manages to get the fuck away with it again. There are positives though. Jane has still not got smallpox, which is great to see. The guy who was the original patient zero of Deadwood has fully mended and is now completely offended because Sai just dumped him out in the woods to die. I understand both parties' arguments in this case. It was smart of them to leave him outside of town as to not let the virus spread further, but also if you were the guy that had been dumped in the wilderness to die, you would be pretty pissed off. Especially when you come back and find out that they fucking got rid of your shit as well. He could have had valuables or keepsakes in amongst his belongings, and now he just has nothing. He got a bunch of money stuffed down his shirt and sent on his way. Some of the acting in this show is just incredible. When Jane and Charlie reunited at Bill's grave and mourned him together and tried to tell him stories together, it was just such a great scene. Both those actors are incredible. I'm surprised I can't remember them from anything else I've seen previously. I probably have. When their acting is this good, I'm assuming they get hired for more projects than this, but this is the first thing I can remember them in, and they're both just doing an incredible job. Specifically, Charlie this episode had some incredible scenes, from that one at the grave to when he went to the bar to get them to retell the story of how Bill died. The whole episode, you could tell he had a deep sadness he was repressing, and then he just had to let it out a little bit at the gravesite, but it was an incredible job by that actor. Oh, and there's so many things I want, but I don't even want to say my wants because this seems like a brutal show and 90% of the things I want to happen probably won't. This reminds me of The Wire so much, and that in my head there is so many things I have hopes for, but I don't want to utter them because my dreams will be crushed. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see that little girl go into prostitution. I don't want to see the widow and the kid have a bad ending. I would love for them to get out of it as a little team and go back to New York and have a happy life. I don't want to see Trixie get back in the back pocket of Al and be snaked. I don't want to see this smallpox outbreak go any further. I don't want to see Jack McCall get away with murder again. I don't want to see Sai profiting from that fucking girl's prostitution. And I don't want to see Al continue to have the tyrannical grip he does just now on this entire town. I've uttered them all now. Probably all 7 of those things will fuck up for me, and it'll be a grim experience. Regardless, it will be a high quality grim experience. I have to stress, specifically the writing, but that's because I'm a writer, so I always notice that first and give credit to that first, but it's everything really. The acting, the set design, everything is great. The direction, but the writing is so strong and so good at creating drama. New scenarios, situations, conflicts, resolutions, all the time. It just makes me want to binge this show right to the very end, straight away. Whoever wrote this shit is an incredible writer. Seriously, like, their writing is of the highest quality, and it's making this show so enjoyable. Because just when I think we've seen the end of one thing, and my brain starts to think, well, it's not going to be as interesting now because that thing's resolved, like 5 other things pop up that I'm like, oh shit, I need to see what happens. And any show that does that, and not in a tacky or forced way, it just shows how high quality the writing is. So as much as everything is great, I just want to take this time to appreciate how good the writer of this show is. This shit is incredible. High drama and not forced, with great dialogue and acting performances all around. It is no wonder people rate this show so highly when things are of such a pristine elite luxury quality throughout it so far. This is 7 episodes now, and there just hasn't been a dip. Usually it takes a show a while to ramp up, and usually there's peaks and valleys, and amongst that, this show has been like from episode 1 straight through to 7, like a straight line of high quality, and it just is sticking in my mind throughout the week. Every week I react to one of these, and then throughout the week for the next 6 days I'm just thinking about what might happen, or the situations, or what I want to see happen. It keeps me thinking about it. And again, I have to say, I've probably already said this, but I cannot believe they shit-canned this show after 3 seasons. What the fuck? Did it just not have the viewership at the time? I suppose I'm partially responsible for that, because I didn't know about it or watch it at the time it was actually on air. So everyone who didn't at the time it was actually being aired is, I suppose, in some way responsible for its cancellation. That being said, anybody who did watch an episode of this, how could you not get instantly addicted the way they plan out these storylines and the way the actors portray the performances on screen? This shit is just epic. And of course, as always, I cannot wait to see what happens next time. I will be counting down the days. If you've liked this video, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below, and share this around to anyone you think might appreciate it or want to watch the rest of these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and the channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA, peace.